So I don't know if this lighting is really good or really bad, but we are just going with it. I'm also freezing. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Sutton, and I'm an indie author of 3, soon to be 4, young adult romance books. The latest one is Can't Catch My Breath, and that comes out January 26th, and we're getting really close, and I'm really excited because if you haven't been here for a release day of mine before, during release week, I post a video every single day, and yeah, that's coming soon, guys. Really soon. You can find the links to pre-order Can't Catch My Breath as a signed copy, an ebook, or a paperback all down below, and you can add it to your GOODREADS TBR as well. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all, second video of 2021. Yeah, I'm excited. Even more excited, this is an income report pie chart thingamabob. I've seen a lot of people do this on different channels, like Mandi Lynn posted one, and I love the pie chart for that one. So I kind of wanted to do it myself and see what my pie charts would look like, and I really enjoyed rendering them out, so I'll be posting screenshots here. Before we get started, make sure you scroll down and tap that like button, and also tap that subscribe button, and turn on that bell notification so you get notified every single time that I upload a video, because you don't want to miss out on all the fun content coming your way. Let's hop in. It's fucking cold out here. The lighting is atrocious as well. Oh. So, I've got 3 pie charts coming at you guys. One is my income pie chart, one is my book sales pie chart, and one is my vendors pie chart. I thought about trying to figure out my expenses, and that could be a future video when I actually get all my tax information around for 2020. But I did not include my expenses in this video, mostly because I feel like my expenses are all over the place. I have no idea how to make a pie chart out of it. I figured I would just do the kind of income and then books and then different vendors. I also am not including real numbers, but I will tell you guys the amount of books I did sell total. So I'll include that number, but I'm not going to be talking about the money I made overall or specific numbers for specific vendors. I don't really feel comfortable sharing my income, but I just feel like maybe giving these percentages is still really interesting. I have my handy dandy notebook right here. The back side's not cute. We can't all be perfect. I'm also getting really close to the end of this notebook. I thought a fun video would be to go flip through my notebook and so I can show you guys everything that's in here. Obviously, I'd have to hide spoilery stuff for Can't Catch My Breath, but otherwise, it could be fun to flip through. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that kind of video. Okay, sorry. Back into the video. So I'm going to start off with the percentages for... Let's start off with the percentages for income. Okay, so here is the pie chart for the percentages of income. And you can see the top one right off the bat. KDP crushed everybody else, knocked everybody else out of the water with 68%. I'm not that surprised because obviously I sell all of my books off of the Amazon website. So the fact that that's the highest, performing thing for me makes total sense. Second runner up, though, is Fiverr, which I find really interesting because I took a few months off of Fiverr. I think I took May through August off. I could be totally wrong on that. So I was completely and totally wrong on that. You can see I inserted a bar graph of what my year on Fiverr in 2020 looks like. You can see in January, I only took on 5 orders. February, I only took on 1 order. March, I only took on 3. August, I only took on 3. September, I only took on 4. And then October, I only took on 8. So you can see those were my lower months. I cropped up the numbers that I made, obviously, but the blue line is the amount of orders, and then the bar graphs are the money that I made. That's just how it worked. So January, February, March, August, September, and October were my slower months. And yeah, I don't know what it was talking about. I limited how often I was available on Fiverr. I limited my clients on Fiverr. But November and December on Fiverr were really, really good because I'm starting to raise my prices up a bit more. So that makes sense why Fiverr is probably 18%, because I did it heavily in the beginning of the year. I kind of stopped toward the summertime, I'm pretty sure, and then it picked up again in the winter / late fall. So the next one, 6% of my sales, of my income, were signed copies, which kind of blows my mind, because I feel like I started signed copies in March, I believe. I wish I had the exact amount of books that I've sold through my signed copy website. I didn't really expect my signed copies to perform that well, which is really surprising when everybody wanted a signed copy. Because in my mind, people who want signed copies really love the book that they received, or they really love the author. So I kind of wasn't expecting my signed copies to go that well, because I figured, okay, there's not going to be that many people who are really passionate about me or my books that they would want a signed copy. Signed copies are my third performing source of income, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Thank you to everybody who has purchased a signed copy. In case you missed it, Can't Catch My Breath signed copies are available for pre-order now. I just placed the order for the shipment, so quantity as of now is limited. If you want your signed copy, you better pre-order soon. But then again, I had 3 books available for signed copies, which was What Are Friends For, What Are Friends For, Out of My League, and If the Broom Fits. So it makes sense that with 3 books combined, signed copies would make a lot of money. And also on Black Friday, I had a $5 signed copy deal for all of my books, and I sold out of all of them. So that was a great deal. I think I want to do something like that in the future, because that was fantastic. Okay, number 4 for my source of income is 5% for Ingram Spark. So Ingram Spark, really the only sale that I have through there are the paperback copies, and up until recently, What Are Friends For's ebook was distributed through Ingram Spark. Yeah, so the paperback copies are really just the pre-orders of, like, on Amazon or on Barnes & Noble. If you pre-order a paperback copy through them, that counts as an Ingram Spark sale. So that's really where the majority of my sales from there come from. After my book is live, I publish the paperbacks through Amazon. So if you're buying a paperback after the book has gone live, you're then buying it from Amazon. Mostly because I once didn't upload through Amazon, but then I think it was What Are Friends For, the paperback went out of stock, and they had no idea when it was going to be back in stock. And I'm like, okay, forget this. I'm just going to upload directly to Amazon. And I really wish Amazon would allow pre-order paperbacks. I have no idea why they don't. I'm sure it's probably mentioned somewhere why they don't. I don't know. So the next highest is 2% for Draft to Digital, and that is up until October, because that's like the latest I could find the reporting on. I didn't have the amounts for November or December yet when I made the graph. So this is up until October. It was 2%. I can't imagine it bumping up to 5% to beat Ingram Spark. So I think it's fine. Draft to Digital is the distribution service that I use for my ebooks. So it distributes to Apple, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Scribd, Overdrive, and Biblioteca. So my books are available through there, and I've had various sales on that platform ever since launch. I will say it's not a ton. Compared to my Kindle sales, it doesn't even come close. I think that's totally okay. I'm really happy with distributing wide. Okay, so the next 1% is YouTube revenue. 1% sounds like not a ton, and I will say it's not a ton. It's enough that I receive my monetization checks. So you have to hit a $100 threshold to be paid every month. If you say you make $50 one month, it's gonna roll over to next month, and if you make $50 the next month, then you get paid. You only get paid once you hit $100. At least that's how I've understood it. I'm just counting on what I have personally received from the monetization checks that has been paid out to me. That is 1% of my income. Patreon and Redbubble are tied for 0%, which is stupidly funny. I wish they would have turned that into a minuscule percentage, because I did get money from them. So it's not like I didn't make anything and I included them, you know what I'm saying? If you looked at it from a decimal standpoint, Redbubble was 0.0019 of my income, and from a decimal standpoint for Patreon, it was 0.0013. I'm not a math genius. I don't know how that works out, how I'm supposed to say it, if it's like 19 19/10ths, I don't know how that works. 1900ths of a, I'm embarrassing myself, so I'm gonna stop. So I did get money from them. It's very small in the grand scheme of things, but you know, every penny counts, and diversifying your income is fantastic. I actually only really recently started Redbubble and Patreon. I started those two in November, so it makes sense that that would be the lowest income for me. Although it doesn't matter because I'm loving Patreon. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm getting ready to start writing the short story for January. It is going to be 3 chapters from Elijah's point of view. And if you don't know who Elijah is, he is from my Friends to Lovers romance titled What Are Friends For? So I'm excited to jump into his headspace on this stuff because, guys, we didn't get hardly any of Elijah's thoughts about Remy until towards the end, but you best be betting he was thinking it. I'm excited. And Redbubble is just my merch store where I make merch like this. I'm probably procrastinating. I should be writing. My boyfriend is my laptop. My girlfriend is my laptop. Team Elijah, Team Walsh, Team Vincent. I uploaded that into the store, so Team Vincent merch is officially on the Redbubble store. Yeah, that was a recent thing I started. So that is all of my income for 2020. All the percentages of my income for 2020. It's been a crazy year. When I started my channel in April, I never would have thought that I'd be monetized by the end of 2020 and that I would actually receive my first YouTube paycheck by the end of 2020, because I thought that would take forever for me to accrue the amount of money that I needed, and it kind of went by fast, and I've been monetized since October. Next, I'm going to be talking about vendors. So the vendors, I'm just going to keep them into 3 categories: KDP, Ingram Spark, and Draft Digital. Remember, Draft Digital includes Apple, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Biblioteca, Overdrive, and Scribd. That is the categories that Draft Digital falls under for me. I thought about doing them individually, like Barnes & Noble, Kobo, but I feel like the Draft Digital is such a small percentage that it just kind of didn't really make sense to, because they would say 0%, and I just felt like this was probably easier. So for KDP, of course, that's going to dominate the field at 88% of my books sold there. A lot of people love Amazon, have Kindles, and you can download the Kindle app on your phone, so that definitely makes sense. And then Ingram Spark is 9% of my books sold. Remember, that is paperbacks, so yes. And then Draft Digital is at 3%. I really want to focus on scaling up my wide platforms this year. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do it, how I'm going to do it. I've been focusing on Amazon sales, which makes sense because Amazon is kind of one of the biggest sellers for books, at least for indie books, and that is obvious for me because it's 88% of my books sold. So it makes sense for me to focus my time there. But I do know that there's also some Apple readers and some Barnes & Noble Nook readers that I want to target and kind of get into their wavelengths as well. Like I said, not totally sure how it's supposed to happen, but I mean, we'll figure it out along the way. If you guys have any tips, please let me know if you're also a wide author. So I didn't include signed copies in this vendors section because I'm a dumbo. Okay, I forgot about signed copies and I'd already made the screenshot of the chart, so I really wish I had. And signed copies are not included in the next tier, which is going to be my books sold tier. So we're going to be talking about What Are Friends For, Out of My League, and If the Brim Fits as percentages. And I'm also going to be sharing the amount of books I have sold. Since I already told you guys in previous videos that I sold 5,538 copies in 2020 of all 3 of my books. So I figured, since I've already shared that number with you guys, I would love to break it down to which book sold how many copies. I don't know if I'll do this every year. I just know that that was a fun milestone that I wanted to share with you guys, so I shared that milestone. I figured y'all already know, so might as well just give you the numbers. Here is the pie chart for the books, for the percentages of books sold. So What Are Friends For is at 57%, which makes the most sense because What Are Friends For was my very first book published. It was published 5 months longer than Out of My League, which is at 36%. In a previous video, I did say Out of My League is my top performing book because ever since Out of My League was launched, I have consistently sold more copies of Out of My League than What Are Friends For every single month. To me, I feel like that makes more sense that that is my #1 book because that's the #1 book that I'm selling copies of. Yes, I have sold more What Are Friends For copies, but that's only because it's been out longest. And then If the Broom Fits comes in, trailing along at 7% of my books sold. It's a wee little baby, it's trudging its feet, it's making its way, you know? It's cute. My dad looked at the pie chart over my shoulder when I was making it. He's like, oh, what's that one? And I'm like, oh, that's a If the Broom Fits. And he's like, ooh, okay. Yeah, so If the Broom Fits has sold the least amount of copies, which isn't a surprise because I've talked about in the past that this is my least performing book out of all 3. But I do think, we talked about this before, it's probably just because it's in a niche kind of Halloween romance. But I feel like it's going to be a good book to advertise when Halloween comes around next year and fall comes around next year. And have a sale on once in a while. I think it could be fun. Now let's hop into the number of books each thing sold. So let's start with If the Broom Fits, okay? If the Broom Fits sold 388 copies since October 6th to December 31st, which I will say, that's a lot of books. 3.5 months, that's a lot of books sold. I'm really happy with that. Next up, Out of My League sold 1,980 copies from June 16th to December 31st. Just over 6 months this book has been live, and it sold 20 books shy of 2,000 copies. I'm screeching on the inside. I swear, it's just so mind-blowing to me that this book kind of took off, you know? I hoped it would. I really, really hoped it would, because this book has been through a lot. I know in my past video I mentioned about the whole publisher thing, and I talked about it so much, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But I was talking about it with my mom the other day, and brought up a memory of 2 friends of mine, friends at the time, who I let read one of the, what draft of it was it? Pretty far along, I think. I don't know if Sophia was a journalist yet by the time they were reading it. They tore the crap out of that book. They told me that no publisher would want it, that it's not going to get published, no one's going to like it, it's bad. They told me it was bad. And to my face, we were having breakfast. I took them out for breakfast and they just told me that my book sucked. So it just feels so fun, and I'm just happy that you guys did and end up enjoying this book despite my anxieties about it, because, you know, when a publishing company says we don't want it, it's like, okay, it doesn't suck. I mean, then when your friends tell you, okay, this isn't good, then you're like, oh my gosh. Granted, I have edited it since the publishing company and those people have read it. So, like, it went through an evolution process after those 2 people got to see it. But it was still scary, you know, because that's always going to linger in the back of my mind. Like, people did not like this. I'm just, like, so happy you guys liked it. And I'm happy that this was I'm calling it my top performing book, even though technically overall it's not. But since release, it's been my best performing book. I think, anyway. I think that's how you're supposed to categorize it. But I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for you to see the next fake relationship I have up my sleeve. Alright, that brings us to What Are Friends For, sitting at 3,170 copies from January 14th to December 31st. That's a lot of books. So 5,538 books for a debut year. Crazy sauce. But please remember, I would not have gone anywhere close to that number if it hadn't been for you guys cheering me on, supporting me, sharing my book when I post about it, adding it to your TBRs, telling your friends about it, leaving reviews. I mean it. I would not be anywhere close to these numbers, to these sales. This year would be drastically different without this amazing writing community and every single one of you who are watching this video, liking my Instagram posts, sharing my stories. All these numbers are epic, you know, they're really cool. But you guys helped me get there. You know, this isn't just a one-man show. I mean, yes, I wrote the book. Yes, I do my own share of marketing. But without you guys, readers and friends and writers, I would seriously be nowhere. So I want to say a huge thank you to every one of you who is watching, who's ever liked a video, ever liked an Instagram post, who's ever shared anything. It really means so much to me that you are willing to come along with me on this journey and support me along the way. I can't wait to see where we end up, you know. 2020 has been a crazy year for book sales and everything like that. A crazy debut year. And I wouldn't have gotten anywhere without any of you. So, yeah. I got sappy, but I love you. And thank you for encouraging me and helping this year to be a good one. Alright, those were my pie charts for 2020 on my income, my books, and my different vendors that I've sold at. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and comment down below which number or which percentage was the most surprising to you. I feel like the books percentages were a little crazy, but let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe because I post videos 3 times a week. 1 sit-down video on Monday and then 2 vlogs, 1 on Wednesday and 1 on Friday. I have a live stream schedule over on my community tab, so you go to my YouTube page and you click the community tab, scroll down till you see the live stream schedule, and there are my live streams for the month of January. I'm so excited to be hopping back into the live streams because seriously you guys, I've missed them. I'm Sarah Sutton, indie author of 3, soon to be 4 young adult romance books, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Oh, my hands are freezing. Those, okay, let's go back to the center. I'm Sarah Sutton. I'm going inside. I need to thaw. My butt cheeks need to thaw.